Hey you guys, it's MJ from All to Love. How are you? I just want to say thank you for those of you who have pre-ordered Spirituality Simplified. I'm almost finished editing week 3 and I'm really excited about the progress that we're making. And I've just started editing a really long, almost an hour-long interview with Sasha Stone. And I'm just realizing I've got lots of little interviews which to share with you guys. What up? How are you? So there's like a couple things in this share randomly. So initially I had mid-January collective intuitive, whatever the title is, intuitive collective energy report. And then I'm having this shift via one of you who sent some information through yesterday, and I'm aware of us bridging into timelessness. So I'm being weird and playing around with not putting months anymore and not putting the year anymore, and with straight up it's because like a lot of present moment here now. I have no idea what time it is, what month it is, what day it is. I just don't know. And so I'm kind of, and then I'm like aware of how these transmissions, like I'll have watched videos from so and so when back in the day when I used to actually watch stuff. And like, it wouldn't matter if it was from 5 years ago or 6 years ago. Timing doesn't ultimately matter when somebody's on like a journey, because they're just gonna find, you just find the relevant information that's vibrating your frequency at that point. So breaking free from the construct of like time and linearity is, I guess, part of this share, and maybe it's part of the collective energy update. I actually very briefly started recording one and then realized it was shit, so I stopped. No, well, it was more about this insight about time, and feeling into like, what would it be like just to be updating intuitive collective energy reports for people. So the previous share, which still had the date as far as the month goes on it, I was seeing and hearing this like level of silent awakening is what I called it. So I'm feeling into this vision of like, I'm seeing a lot of like fluorescent lights. Hey, Vitamin. I'm seeing like fluorescent lights, and well, basically I'm seeing like what looks like a whole bunch of offices, an office block, and they're empty. And or there's just like a few remaining like zombie type human energy fields in those office blocks. Oh, and then that's reminding me of like yesterday how I again was just seeing all of these like these like empty office buildings or like empty whatever buildings, and thinking to myself, why don't homeless people just stay in those buildings? Like, why do we have all of these compartmentalized aspects versus like just opening our doors and sharing, i.e. the wound of fear, like the ultimate wound of separation, hence why everybody's like trying so hard to get ahead and being shits to one another, because we somehow flipped the value system around to make the stuff out there more valuable than us and one another. So that return to greater unity and wholeness is a total breaking free from that linear time, fear, money constructed reality, i.e. the matrix. And there's a few subtleties that I'm feeling into with regard to the whole breaking free process. Is yes, we do have to own our emotional field, because it's our emotional field which keeps getting hit up against to keep that matrix in place. I.e. every time we're in fear, we're in blame, we're in attack. Every time we externalize a feeling that's going on in our field, we actually perpetuate it, energetically speaking, i.e. we put it out there. So then if it goes out there, it will loop around back at some point, complaining, blaming, attacking, defending. And I'm not, and this is like, I'm saying these things and I have a full awareness of how none of this stuff is like more stuff to make us feel more worse about it. More stuff to make us feel more worse about ourselves. That's not what any of this is, like, straight up. This is an awareness, and then like a compassionate person being like, but don't be hard on ourselves. Like, don't sit there and go back into self-loathing or go back into pity or go back into, there's these subtle awarenesses to have within the emotional field. Thought frequency and thought form is definitely, it is good. It is good to be aware and compassionate, isn't it? It's a thumbs up for those qualities. Yes. So being mega compassionate, especially when we're in the shits, like especially when we're having old patterns come up or when when energy is moving through us. And oh yeah, I didn't say that, but then that came through with regard to this. I'm endeavoring to shapeshift my lingo so that more words, more words. All right, all right. In regards to this energy belt that we're in, we're leading up to some fairly substantial planetary alignments, which on a collective level, it's really good when planetary alignments, because it's a mass agreement, you could say. There's a shift happening with regard to forward motion and collective agreements. I say the relevancy of that is that there's a whole bunch of people, human minds, choosing to break free from the collective agreement of the so-called matrix and doing like a run for it, breaking into this freedom. That's how it feels anyway in my energy. And obviously I'm always talking from my personal perspective. I'm always talking from my own experience, direct experience. I haven't actually read a book or actually engaged in much external information for 4 years, 5 years reading since I started writing my own book. And it's not like a power over thing. It's just like some sort of like divine pure choice from within self where I'm like, I don't resonate in truth with like a whole bunch of stuff that's out there. And I was aware at some point on the whole spiritual well-being journey of like hopping, doing this course, reading that book, doing this person, doing that, and I'm like, well, that's tiring, possibly very expensive as well. So it's like there must be a way. And then for me, it really dropped into the emotionality of it and proper choosing. That's the choice we make. And hence back to like this share of more conscious, smart humans making conscious choices. So, and that, I've said this in many shares, but it's coming through again, mass exodus. So emptying out office blocks. People having inspired ideas and following through with those inspired ideas. Like letting homeless people stay in the churches, or yeah, and or kind of restructure it completely and, well, like we said earlier, actually have compassion. And this is something this is subtle energetic awareness stuff, but like this awakening is a thing that we're in choosing and yet happening to us, i.e. the creator and the created, the voidal infinite container and the form of creation. So like there's that polarity of non-duality of our own existence, right? And And so within this idea of like a mass exodus, people are awakening to their sensitivities and some of their broader abilities. This is increasing transparency in our human energy field. So transparency in our human energy field basically knocks off loads of fear-mongering stuff, including currency exchange, because once we open up to that field, our currency exchange becomes more to do with our energy field rather than a distorted, externalized thing, right? Ooh, I don't know about anything to do with politics at all, but I'll be intrigued to know what that was. Because there's a whole bunch of crazy chaos bullshit happening on the 3D, which is, to me, it's like a spinning out. It's because this underlying or overarching spiritual awakening is happening from within the self. It's like happening in the earth field. So it's like you can't, no human or even human agenda could stop the energies that are flowing through us. So as those energies flow through, more humans will naturally gravitate toward compassionate leadership, which I really don't know exactly how that looks, but I know that it will feel different having somebody like some of the older or current presidents of the United States, where you're like, do you guys actually care? I don't know what you're talking. What are you saying? And then repeating problems, but pretending like we're solving them. So what the masses are awakening to is like, wait a minute. And the difference in leadership is all about the feeling. The difference in leadership is that eventually we'll break through this barrier of being able to use money and power and stuff and things to lord over each other. So a whole bunch of the masses are suddenly going to go like, what are you doing? I don't care. And then that sway is going to continue to usher like mass exodus. And then as the blocks and the tower blocks empty out, there's going to be humans that just naturally rise into their inherent like leadership quality, and then open the doors for this is weird, and obviously I have no idea have a timeline. Well, that's massive to do with power and distortion, right? Transparency in government, I would say, is just natural evolution because we ourselves are becoming more transparent. Yeah, I mean, like, whatever that Enjoy It Bro, I love your tag, your name, by the way. Yeah, I mean, there's so much polarity within it all. Like, we don't want to be sitting here talking about there being no problems. At the same time, our reactivity, our emotionality, our thought projection, and that's something I can probably start to close it, wind it down now. But like thoughts, being open to changing our thoughts, being more of the. I know people talk about this all the time. I've just in my own practice, I'm like, holy hell. This stuff takes a while to really embed as a practice within self because one, there's so much unconscious thought programming happening from birth and possibly past timelines and karma and personal karma. But then as we're coming into adulthood, we're having to continue to stay really focused, which is why this stuff is quite relentless and deep, because we have to stay focused on the thought frequencies that we're choosing for ourselves as a forward motion. Hence, I remind myself that we're collectively agreeing to something different, right? Hi, Christian Getta, how are you? So there's a broader, a deeper, and a more expansive collective agreement. Okay, on a lighter note, all y'all, the system is crumbling and loads of chaos is happening in the Matrix because all the glitches are happening because actual human minds are like waking up. Oh, and like there seems to be like an energetic etheric deprogramming as far as like an actual, and this is one of these weird things that happens to me in my meditations and or relaxations and or like trance moments where I'm like unplugging, but like visceral in the physical body of like unplugging from some kind of like motherboard almost like an operating system, which born me into this realm. And I'm like, see you later, operating system. I don't need you anymore because I'm responsible. I'll create responsibly from within this quantum manifestation realm, which is more in service to the totality. So all of this stuff I could not, this is not like a prediction kind of channel. This isn't, these are visions that I would say are part of our kind of collective storyline, i.e. emptying office blocks. And again, none of this is meant to like scare us at all, but like I'm getting some pretty heavy duty sensation, insight feelings with regard to like the economic collapse and stuff. And I have no idea like when or how exactly it happens, but all of there's so much going on, and this is part of the chaos and confusion. Like, people are just like chasing the rat race, but the rat race ain't there no more. So there's like a whole bunch of, it's like there's just en masse gonna be people going like, what? Like waking up, like stopping in the middle of the streets, or like getting to work and just suddenly being like, what the fuck am I doing? And so when that starts happening en masse, you have quite a shift. Hence, some of us talking more liberally about this, because it's this deep inner knowing. Other things have happened to reflect inner knowing, so you're like, maybe we should share what the inner knowing is and start to align and link arms and connect dots to like, not a new web, because we don't want a new shitty web. We need integrity and fluidity, which is more about like a harmonious divine blueprint that exists in existence itself, in light, versus like this corrupted motherboard energy of the matrix that we call it. I feel I'm far enough out and removed from it that I'm literally just observing the energy swings within it. But it's a fucking weird existence, to be honest. And every once in a while, like, things reflect back to me of like not being in that. Anywho, there's some exciting things happening with different. One is something at 1:13 p.m. every day that we meditate. Call mode. It really does align with the aspect of unplugging from the Fearless Life Guide and the general Alta Love movement of like, guys, stop watching mainstream TV. It's messing with your mind. It's, yes! Quote me. Thanks. But it's fucking true, dude. Like, I remember that when I landed in London, England, watching people, like, getting the tube, racing around. This is, like, after my awakenings with loads of people-pleasing and naivety. So, like, I'm pretty sure I also got, like, ripped off. I'm sure 20 pounds got stolen from me because I wanted to buy some marijuana. In Piccadilly Circus, like, the first day I arrived with a big backpack, I'm like, yeah, woo! And then we just ran off. And then people were not very nice in London, England. I don't know if any of you ever have been to this country, London, England in particular. I'm like a bushy-eyed Canadian traveler, all about the love and paradigm shift, thinking that everyone in Europe, not dirty North America, but everyone in Europe is going to be ever so kind, just welcome me into their home, you know, and be so lovely. And then now I get, like, ripped off and nearly probably run over by a fucking double-decker bus. Oh, did you? You know all about it. Although, I gotta say, now, tides have turned. Everywhere I go, everyone is ever so gracious and kind. And if they're not, I just sit there and channel light bubble frequencies everywhere. I, like, literally sprinkle, like, love dust onto people. Even if they're, like, looking at me like they want to kill me, I'm like, do-do-do-do. Like, but serious, but I'm like, seriously sprinkling love dust onto you. And then that just makes me feel better because the density is so hardcore. But back in the day, y'all, back in the day when not everyone had fucking phones, can you imagine? Back only 15 years ago, and like, yeah, I remember just observing the London banking crew people and like general just speed of people on tubes, trains, buses, city streets, everyone like either staring at their paper, now everyone just staring at their phones, and they're like rushing around, like crowding in like fucking animals, you know, and rushing around. And I just remember thinking, like, where are you going? This is after my awakenings of realizing that we're all one and like all is supported and there is only ever the presence here now. I just have my headphones and like backpack and like walk around the city like, whoa, presence, this is hardcore. But yeah, then I'd get those polarity insights of like, where's everybody going? Or like I'd go to these swanky cocktail banker bars in my like tracksuit feeling really, really dorky and uncomfortable. But like listening to these banker people being like, yeah, like they're talking a whole bunch of stuff that I'm just like, what are you saying? This is the weird life of the empath, right? Just like observing people's energy exchanges and dynamics and being like, what are you actually like for real? People like often talk when they're talking about certain things. I'm like, you're not talking about anything real, as in like grounded in an existential kind of reality exchange of like, do you feel your aliveness and your humanness? Are you having an alive type of experience? Most people are just literally regurgitating a whole bunch of junk in their brain. A whole bunch of stuff that they were told is important for them. They're like, yeah, important. And like, none of that ultimately, that's like the scariest, darkest thing about awakening is going like, oh, my whole life that I was told to create, I was told would make me special and important isn't. And the worst of it is like some of it is actually fucking built on lies and corruption and slavery. Our own slavery. And let's be honest, who cares if it's a family in Africa or our family? We're one human consciousness, right? That's the point of really rising our energy field. Who cares if it's kids in Africa getting oppressed or kids in Britain or kids, any fucking oppression on this planet is oppression. Any slavery on this planet is slavery. You know, any fucked up distortion, stealing, hoarding, raping on this planet, that's all shit. War, ball sex. The rage in me is taking over. But that's the legit. I can't talk. That's the legit truth, you guys. The truth of us shifting and transforming our shittiness from within is that the expectation is that one day we'll look around at this planet. Hell, Rochelle! Woo! I love you guys. One day we'll be able to look at this planet and we won't be dropping bombs. This is like the legit what I give back to people if they're ever like, whoa, why are you angry? Angry is not an attractive quality. I'm like, okay, I will stop getting angry when this world stops feeling like dropping bombs is an acceptable pastime. Because I'm just like, my observation is like, wait a minute, we're all running around pretending like anger is like the worst thing ever. Meanwhile, our country's like, boom, boom. And like, there are some serious collective anger issues. And I'm pretty sure us on the ground floor here denying that we feel angry, denying that we feel anger at all, that's not solving the dropping of the bombs. When we can make peace from within and even feel comfortable expressing, then we maybe won't be going around the back door being like, just drop a bomb. We don't want to deal with our anger issues. Just fucking blame that country right there. And then maybe our problems will go away. I'm pretty sure war has never solved the problems that we were thinking they were going to solve. I'm pretty sure war, and actually you guys, this is the thing about pulling on a little golden thread. Once you start pulling on the thread, there's nothing there. Ah! And then the whole construct of reality comes undone. And then it's just you. Like Homer Simpson when he goes to a different dimension. It's just you ending up in this like square platform of blank infinite void going, holy fucking shit. And then that's when it gets real and you're like, oh, I better keep creating my life. So you stay really kind of as positive as possible. And or, no, that this is the legit truth now. Good morning. it's not about being nice or being a light fairy all the time. It's just about being the realness. I believe that. The realness. And straight up, I'm getting the focus, yo, of like new paradigm beginnings. Oh, I don't know about that. Women can be pretty nasty too. I think really, and what we're leading to is just like actual compassionate leadership and people who care. And I think it's fair to say that we don't want any imbalance, right? It's true though. There is that natural, nurturing, compassionate vibe, but I think the more women that feel that gives men more permission to feel that way. Because there's weird emotional layers of imprinting that men and women are having to work through, and it's not easy. And that's something I can say really honestly, having burned through a lot of my own hatred and mistrust and various other things toward men, like the imprint that I received personally. And then working through all that, being like, wow, oh, God, compassion, compassion. The thing is, as well, like, compassion is the most useful for the self. Because it's all really the self. Hey, Kurt Mill, how are you, bud? Well, sure, you know, make gossip, not war. And we are moving in that way. I just am talking about big global ideas. There's no time frame with any of it. God, anyone here just fucking want to live in peace already? I'm like, everyone, wake up to your inherent divine power. Let's be done with the economy and incessant dropping of bombs. Which also means we don't have to pay taxes and we can just figure out like peaceful permaculture ways of growing food and like frolicking about with one another and growing plants and like having fun ceremonies. And I know that's happening in different parts of the world. I'm just waiting for mine. I want mine. I could go for some pieces, but my thing is just like literally it would be like, well, what do we do then? What do we do when life is perfect and peaceful? We just become shiny beacons of playful light. I'll be, you guys. And then that would be the juice. And then you just share your light-filledness with more people exiting the Matrix all like zombie-like, you know what I'm saying? I know, Rochelle. You're always joking around with us, aren't you? Well, sort of. Or rhyming some legit wisdom as well. I love my morning shares with you guys. I really do. I missed it yesterday. I never got around to it. Cool, cute coffee mug. Thank you. I could honestly, well, the reason I like to say thank you is because I buy everything secondhand, like everything. Except I don't think these socks are secondhand. I think my socks are actually like, I bought them. But I am a big sock kind of person. Sweater. Pardon me. I know, most socks are. And I got a hat. I'm getting a lot done. I feel you, Kurt. I feel like there's quite a dance and polarity in stuff that we're shifting and then stuff that we're rising into. So there's various few of us energetically that are taking quite a big leap. And weirdly, what you said just is reflecting back stuff I'm sitting with as far as like I'm keeping myself in check. Like the energies feel really open and kind of deep and intense. And obviously we don't want to wallow in that depth or intensity, but at the same time, there's something happening collectively. And some of us, I think, are like linking arms and kind of joining forces where there's certain points in our projected reality that we're wanting to hit and we're hitting that. And so now, yeah, same. And as in like, there's like, for me personally, it would be like, it's near MJ. Woohoo! Like for me, the tasks I have are just making sure I'm getting some editing done. Like, I know I'm launching this Simplified, or I keep doing that. I know that I'm launching Spirituality Simplified at the end of the month. And so I'm like, every day just have to do a little bit of work on that. And then honestly, like, I don't always know where time goes. There's no time anymore because it's just like there's such an inner awareness now of like creatorship that's become like a tunnel vision focus. And then you guys, and then like people, the few people I have in my reality that I put investment energy into. Like tomorrow, I'm going to meet up with a friend and go for a walk. So that's a real time thing. Yes. Yes. Yes, dude. Yes, this is the thing about feels. And when we just get better at feeling, right? Is that all the feelings always pass. Like sometimes I'm sitting with some really creepy, weird shit, to be honest. Like this is me venturing into really dark areas. But with, hey there, my Skies 5D, how you doing? Yeah, most people wouldn't necessarily want to endeavor that level of awareness necessarily from the 3D matrix, right? Oh, well, this is like the dark web stuff. Um, the underbelly of the system, the underbelly of war, corrupted motherboards. This is stuff happening like in my like spatial awareness, so like out there, and then from within the matrix illusion grid. There's just a lot of darkness and stuff that we don't necessarily want to face about corrupted human energy field siphoning and part of our historical context. Hey, enjoy it, bro. Thanks, buddy. No, well, this is fantastic, Kurt. This actually relates to the collective intuitive energy update today because this is all like the next tier. So what you're saying to me is reflecting back. Right. So what you're reflecting back to me is the fact that we are becoming more clear. We're becoming more aware. We're becoming more able to like just be the blank witness, observe energies moving through whatever our individual kind of set point is, unique gifts are. And then those energies, there is, you've nailed it. You do know this. Those energies are ultimately what's containing us in this next vision unfolding, right? Yeah, I would say they are. They're all light beings around us now. I would say as well, like darker entity attachments are just like vacating. Hence why like the system of things are getting more chaotic. Do you know what? This is something I don't often do, but I'm kind of curious. Like, what are you guys creating? Or oh yeah, Rochelle, that reminded me about like going back and just keeping myself in check. So like that's true. Yeah, I don't have that much reactivity, but there is stuff out working from within self. And I just like flow. It's weird because I'm saying this like in a almost like a observing myself saying it paradox way, because I'm like, yeah, I keep myself in check, but not in any kind of anxiety way. Like if anything, I just observe the flow and I don't know. I just think keeping myself in check feels like something different now. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not even sure that I do anymore. I just totally love and accept myself. Yeah, that's a good thing that's been integrating, I think, this past year as far as our, like, just being present and then waiting. And then I've got, like, an inner circle, like, team of people now, which is huge for my own personal ego, but it's also really important for that. Like checking in with like the team to see what kind of feedback resonances people are getting and then make a decision. So once we don't have to like be reacting and doing it all by ourselves anymore, that can make quite a big difference in our reality. Or when we're vibing more with like community, people reflecting back stuff that resonates, that we're like, okay, this is this next wave, I would say as well, like linking arms with other leaders, other way showers, bridge builders. Again, really doesn't matter what we call ourselves. It's just people moving into higher I don't even want to say higher anymore, like divisive language, but like better feeling places, right? Creating a forum for connecting with our hearts. Pretty much, that's it, right? Oh, you guys. Exactly. Somebody asked that about what were creepy areas, or what is creepiness and weirdness to you? And I'm like, well, stuff that's in the dark and that you have to shine light into. And sometimes that stuff's pretty crazy. This is really cool, you guys. Some of you building heart-to-heart connections. It's so the juice of, that's all we need for one another as well. It's like a lot of us on this journey, on this whatever sensitivity journey, I feel like a lot of us, it's just been that. It's like peeling back all these layers and being like, wait a minute. My heart was pure. It's always been fucking pure. We're all pure. We just forgot. And then we open up and then we start to relate from the heart. Because speaking from the heart is like the normal way. It's just that weird systematic indoctrination that made us all think that like we couldn't be like that. I don't know. What is the B word? Hells yes, you guys. Be the conductor. It's true. It's what we are. It's just letting ourselves have that much power. It's like, that's I think often why we do these loops, is that I have to keep being like, you not be egotistical, and like, shh. But we can be free. Freedom just becomes the ultimate choice. I can't, like, and I would say a lot of you guys are like this, you can't go back, right? You know, you build a bridge. Well, maybe some of us can, but you don't want to, really. Freedom just feels and smells too darn good. Yep, no going back, right? I'm like, and I've known that all along. I'm sometimes just reminded people are still in it. Old me seems so weird now. I get residue sometimes of old me, and I'm like, oh yeah, remember when I used to deal with that thing? Nice, you guys. Enjoy it, bro. Nice to meet you. Nice to see you here. I think that's it for today. I actually went live and did like a very brief, short January update, and I deleted it. And also that was unlisted, so I weren't gonna be live, and then I ended up being live, and there's a whole bunches of you guys here, and I love having you here, so thank you for being here. I love that. You Leaf and I had a thing about that. I'm sure, was it? About like we don't make habits, just choose. And then choose based on when we're choosing, everything flows around the conscious choosings. I need to shut down because I'm talking hubber-de-goosh. I'm talking hubber-de-goosh, you guys! Yeah, when we have choice with intention, all of our habits naturally fall into place. Anyway, I'm totally rambling right now, and I'm getting a little hit with some energies. So, TikTok, nice name, by the way, making them conscious choosings. And expressing heart flower vibrashe. I love my morning rants as well, so I almost didn't go live, but how lucky am I? And also virtual hug, and just to share with you guys that, oh, and there's one down there, my God. Anyway, that's probably a great way to finish this share. But I do love you and appreciate you guys, and I'm just vain. In case you haven't realized, I am quite a vain human who likes to think. Yes, yes, that's right. I appreciate you guys. I have massive love for you, and I look forward to speaking to you real soon again. Also, keep feeling free to share the stuff. I do yoga. Share comments and topics and all of that. And when I get emails and donations from you guys, I also appreciate it.